I don't know what's more confusing, learning astrology or just being a human. Moonday Musings is here to help with that. A weekly, no bullshit guide for the upcoming cosmic forecast and how you can actually use this in your real life. Hello, my wonderful, magical neighbor. Welcome back to another episode of Moonday Musings. I'm Danny. I'm that witch next door. I'll be your host, your guide, your mentor, your instructor, your spiritual bestie in all things modern magic and cosmic living. And it is the last moon day of the month. It's the last Monday of April 2026, and it's time to reflect and have a little gratitude. So I'm going to go a little off the cuff for this particular reflection and gratitude episode. This is going to be partially a podcast episode, partially a little bit of a vlog. I am going to do some real-time reflection and gratitude with you because I have been in such a state of reflection over the last several months, especially over this last month. I really spent April thinking about the winter that we just emerged from and the winter that I just emerged from. There are a lot of things that have been operating in the same way for a long time. And some of those things are actual helpful routine and systems. And some of those things are just comfort repetitions. And one of the biggest emerging kind of takeaway themes coming through for me personally is really being thrust into discomfort and unfamiliarity, into the foreign, into the unknown, and feeling the wobble of that, right? When we're thrust into what we don't know, we're wobbly. We don't quite have our bearings about us. We don't quite have that center of balance. We don't move with a lot of confidence. And every move we make, each step can be filled with a lot of uncertainty, can come with a lot of hesitation, a lot of why. There was a long time in my life where when I was in a space like this, I thought everything was wrong. I thought that I was wrong. I thought that I was broken. I thought, no matter how much the world may look like it's crashing down around me, it was never this sensation of everything's falling apart and I'm doing my best. For me personally, it's always been the opposite narrative of no matter how hard I try, I just can't get it right. Everything else around me seems to be able to get it right and to function properly and not me. And something that I learned and really, really took away from after that Aries new moon that we had just about a couple of weeks ago now is that I lived and operated in a state of stress and emergency. I meant to say urgency, but emergency will work too. For so long that when I took steps to redirect that, to slow down, to create more sustainable, or at least to create room for more sustainable practices. I can't sit here and tell you I've necessarily found the sustainable practices themselves yet, but I am creating the room for them. I didn't realize that I was taking away such a crutch for myself, even though the way at which I was moving and everything I was trying to put out and everything I was trying to have a hand in, even though it was leading me to constant physical and energetic burnout, once I started to remove it, I didn't really know what was left over, who was left over. And I'm very much in that fresh space, that raw space now as I'm sitting here talking to you. So here on That Witch podcast, on the forefront of the actual podcast, and in most of my free content, so on social media platforms, on YouTube, on any podcast platform you're listening to me to, things have looked very, very quiet on the front. It looks like I haven't really been around. And if you follow me on Instagram, you may have seen some musings I was having about that, because I was having some listeners reach out, most of whom had good intentions to let me know that I've been a part of their regular weekly routine for so long, and now not producing that things are feeling off and difficult, but that they were still showing up in support of me. I did have a couple of listeners reach out whom I do believe had good intentions and also didn't necessarily realize that they were coming from more of a critical space than they recognized. And again, the reason I paint this picture is because if you are a student of mine, if you are in That Witch School, or if you are a monthly one-on-one client of mine, if you are a mentee of mine, you know I haven't gone anywhere. I might not have been releasing podcast episodes over these last few months, but I haven't gone anywhere. Now, this is where I started to sift through my reflections and find my own personal gratitude nuggets here. There is this undeniable obligation and pressure I feel as a content creator to fulfill content duties, responsibilities, to put out a podcast episode every single week, ideally 2 episodes every single week. I'm still having so many parts of my brain that are like, we have to release 2 episodes every single week, or we're like not a good podcast host. If you're not posting on Instagram at least a couple times a week, you're wasting your Instagram, you're wasting your social media. There's this pressure and this obligation that comes through. Inside That Witch School, which we host on a platform called Mighty Networks, That Witch School is like this micro version of social media. When you get into That Witch School and you're inside of our student lounge and you're reading through the different posts that other students have made, commenting and reacting, you are in that same field of social media. You really feel like that. There is one glaring difference, though. There is one glaring difference. And it's that there's no pressure. There's no obligation. And what's fascinating about that is my content inside of That Witch School is not free. Obviously, it's a paid membership on a monthly subscription basis. All of the content that is in there is therefore behind a paywall. And yet I don't feel this obligation and heavy responsibility I'm burdened by. the reason that's interesting is, wouldn't you think logically that it would be easier to take a break from making free content on these free platforms? And wouldn't you think that where the sense of obligation and duty and responsibility would be weighing me down would be where people are paying me for it, right? Because you're literally obligated to fulfill your end of the transaction, essentially. And again, and yet, that sensation is not there. Now, that's not to say that I don't have my own, like, you know, imposter syndrome stuff that will come up once in a while where it's like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm like the host of this entire platform. And that feels like really big sometimes. When I make a mistake inside of that witch school, cough, cough, also on the Aries new moon, I definitely feel the weight of that. I'm very hard on myself when I make mistakes in general. But overall, especially when you're comparing comparing platform for platform, I don't feel that pressure and burden and heaviness and obligation literally at all when I'm inside that witch school. When I'm creating anything for that witch school, whether I'm hosting a call, a workshop, responding to messages, I don't feel that way at all. And what's really, really cool about it is all of the feedback from my students reflects the same experience for them. They have this amazing platform that they can get on. And again, it functions and feels very similar to social media. They're interacting with real people. They're able to post and personalize and express and interact. And they leave that witch school feeling fulfilled and feeling connected. And like lots of us, when they get off of Instagram or TikTok or whatever, they feel, ugh, did I just waste my time? Or that was heavy, or that was hard, or what the hell's wrong with the world these days? All those very common experiences that we experience on social media and post-social media usage. So at the end of this winter and now well into spring, at the end of this April, moving into a brand new month of May next week, I am here to say I am so insanely grateful for that witch school. Long, long ago, you know, when I was very, very, very young, there were all kinds of careers that I said I wanted to do when I grew up. And these would fluctuate throughout the years. But there were two professions that stayed very, very consistent for the majority of my adolescence. And one was being a writer and an author, and the other was being a teacher. And I remember when I stopped going to college and I realized I was no longer pursuing my education career, and I was no longer going to become the type of teacher that I thought that I wanted to be. I mean, like lots of us that's happened to. I went through such an identity crisis. And it was the coolest thing ever when the day came where it hit me a few years after starting my own online witch school that I realized, oh my God, I am a teacher. I did become an instructor. I do help people learn. And I help them learn things I'm really, really passionate about. But maybe somehow even cooler than that realization was the realization I definitely never expected or set out for, where when I built this platform, even when I started That Witch Next Door, And then when I started That Witch podcast, and then when I started That Witch School, all throughout those times, I wanted to create something that I wished would have been available to me. I created and spoke about what I wish someone would have offered and mentioned to me along my journey. What I didn't realize was going to happen, which maybe this is redundant or maybe it was more obvious than I realized, but I didn't know that I was going to inevitably be creating a space also for me. I had past me in mind for a lot of inspiration for, different challenges I came up against, questions that were either glossed over or not answered at all. But at the forefront of what I was creating was still you, neighbor. I was creating a space for you to utilize, for you to learn from. I really wasn't picturing current, present Danny being a consumer and a user of the space. And it has become that. I have forged my own personal friendships. I literally shout out to Abby and our psychic connection, because she is definitely one of my friends that I have made from That Witch School. And literally, Abby, as I was saying that out loud and recording, you texted me. Oh, that is so funny. And Abby is one of many friendships that I have made. And I had past Danny in mind. I had you, neighbor, in mind. I really wasn't thinking of my current self. And yet, here I am. Here I am just as much as you, benefiting from That Witch School. So here's what I kind of wanted to spend the rest of our time doing today. I first wanted to start out in my reflection, and then I wanted to gush a little bit about my gratitude. But what I wanted to spend the most of our time on today is talking to you about how much That Witch School has grown, even more so in the last year, since we last did the Welcome to That Witch School 2025 episode, which was just a little bit over a year ago now. And I am linking that episode for you right now. So much of what's in that episode still stands. And that's why there's so much great information in there that absolutely applies and answers a lot of questions. If you are interested in That Witch School and you're wanting to learn more about it, I cannot recommend enough that you also, in addition to this episode, go back and listen to that episode. But I wanted to kind of add on to that. Now, for anyone that didn't listen to that episode, again, highly recommend. However, to catch you up to speed, That Witch School, if you don't already know, is a monthly online membership that combines learning resources about witchcraft and astrology with a community platform. So it is this beautiful conjunction of learning material and resources and tools with social interaction, networking, connecting, building relationships. And I think one of the coolest things I've got to see is the relationships that blossom right before my eyes in That Witch School. I have had the pleasure and privilege of being able to witness my students not only become friends with each other, I am seeing people start creative projects together. I'm seeing people begin professional projects with each other. It is the stuff dreams are made of. I have said over and over and over and over again since I opened the doors of that witch school that I wanted it to be a launching pad. I wanted it to be this place that inspired and gave that spark and launched you into your next chapter, that got you to embrace what you were always trying to embrace, that got you to finally release what you've been trying for so long to leave behind, and claim yourself as a witch and whatever that means for you in your modern magical life. And now I've been so blessed to see that in real time over and over again. So honestly, as I tell you about that witch school, I want to say that, and this is no shade to other online witchy memberships out there. This is not the Danny show. I did not create that witch school to grow my pool of clients to be able to choose from. And again, that's a real business model. It's a valid business model. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not casting any shade on that at all. It's just that the experience that you get is very, very different when that is the goal of the person hosting the platform. There's a lot more tiptoeing that you have to do, and it, without kind of fully realizing it, it tends to encourage people to be more individual, driven by themselves, for themselves within that platform, even if they're able to like engage with other members and things like that. And again, absolutely nothing wrong with any of this. It's just that, quite frankly, this limited, that kind of model was always going to limit the real huge vision I've always had for that witch school, what I hope it can be, what I hope it can do, where I hope it can go. And in order for it to achieve any of that, I had to create it and maintain it from a perspective of, this will always be bigger than just me. Even if I'm the person who started it and opened the doors and invited you in, it will always, always, always be bigger than me. And of course, I have been able to meet some of the most incredible people that I have had the pleasure of working with in my business. My one-on-one clientele is stunning. If you have worked with me over the last 2 or 3 years, you are stunning. I love your energy. That's how much I mean it on such a big scale, because I swear to you, it's like every single session I have finished out, I'm just like, oh my gods, I cannot believe how blessed I am. When you're very first starting out in doing tarot readings, astrology readings, honestly, just getting started out in anything in your business, you don't really know yourself. You don't really know how to call in, who to call in, and you get to work with some really, really incredible people. And you also, you end up working with some people where you're like, oh, actually, no to that. That's not the type of energy I wanted to bring in my space. Oh, this is a non-negotiable for me. All those different things start to shape your ideal client. And because of the core message that I lead with in my content here on the podcast, and of course reflected in that witch school, I have just been insanely beyond blessed with just the most amazing people energetically that I've gotten the pleasure of being able to work with. So, do I get to work with people that I only got to meet because they came into my school? Yes, of course. I've also got to witness my own students also get clientele and meet their dream clients within that witch school, or feel inspired to reach out more, to put themselves out there more, to connect, even though they've maybe, been rejected in the past, or they've come across really nasty internet energy out there. Sometimes it's even hard to remember when you are in such a wonderful community like we are in that witch school, what else is out there. But those of us who have been from it and through it, we know that you definitely can kind of learn, especially just here on general social media. We can learn like, oh, I'll just like kind of clam up, keep it to myself, not put it out there. You're constantly having to be on radar if someone's going to be selling to you in a sneaky way, if someone's going to come brandish some fake rules in your face. There's all kinds of stuff out there, and we just like don't have any of that. And it's amazing. It's the coolest thing ever. So we're an online monthly subscription-based membership. We have a few different subscription levels: the starter plan, the essentials plan, and then the top level is the all access plan, which comes with anything and everything offered within the platform. Even at our regular full membership rates, you are getting way, way more value from what you get out of that witch school than what you pay for. And I make a point to charge a rate that still, helps feed me as a business person, right? Literally help feed and pay bills, to help keep the platform running, to help keep the platform growing, to be able to continue growing and nourishing and feeding our team as well. And at the same time, what's really, really amazing about that witch school is that what you get out of it, the value and that return on investment that you get out of it, really can be infinite. And I think that is one of the most incredible things about the structure and the way that the platform is set up, because you can utilize so much of the space for learning and networking and growing and healing and practicing and applying and putting yourself out there, trial and error. Like, there's so much freedom that you can get so much out of our membership that other memberships charge like hundreds and hundreds of dollars for just a single month's worth. And at regular cost, our full membership rate is $60 a month for our all access plan. Our essentials plan is $30 a month at full cost, and our starter plan is only $15 a month. It's about the same as a Netflix subscription. And no matter what subscription level you are on, you have access to our full social community on there. So you have full networking and connecting access to our full student body, no matter what your budget is, no matter what subscription plan you're on. The only things that differ as you go up the subscription ladder are the different types of resources and perks and features available to you. Right now, we are in the middle of running a very, very special spring sale. And if you recall, a year ago, when I was increasing the rates of That Witch School, I held a sale where you could still get into That Witch School at 50% off of what the new rates were going to be raised to. And I listened to the feedback of many, many neighbors over the last year. And this spring, what I wanted to do was host the same sale again and offer up the opportunity to anybody who wasn't able to take advantage last year, anybody who was able to but came into hard times and had to cancel their subscription and weren't able to get in at the discounted rate again. I also wanted to offer the option for anybody currently in my school to upgrade at a discounted rate. I also wanted to offer the opportunity for anyone to downgrade their subscription. I literally advertise this to my own students and say, hey, if money and budget has been tight, but you love it here and you get so much value out of being in That Witch School, please feel free to take advantage of this sale and downgrade your plan so you can stay with us, but save even more money on top of that. I am such a firm believer that as a business owner, you can have a pay it forward mindset. And that it doesn't always have to be rooted in getting more and getting more and getting higher and getting upgraded and upselling. Like, it doesn't have to be that way. And you can still have a successful business that helps feed you and your family, but also remains accessible to people and valuable to people and usable for people. So what's really, really amazing is that last year with our sale, we had such a big increase in enrollment in our student body that so much more budded and blossomed in the school than I ever could have expected. Two main things I want to share with you today that have come over the last year are our student-ran clubs and our witchy co-working sessions. So last year, one of our amazing students, shout out to Sheena, she came to me and asked about starting a book club. And she was not the first student to ask me about starting a book club. I had many students in the past, since I really honestly started this school, say, hey, you should start a book club. You should start a book club. And I had to say, like, sorry, I have way too much that I'm already managing. Even as a regular old person myself, I am not a book club person, meaning I don't keep up. My reading style is not very book club friendly. So running one and maintaining one is just like not a good fit for me. I know a ball that's going to get dropped when I see one. Not always, but often. And I let Sheena know, just like I had let all of the previous students who ever asked about it know, hey, I want you to know, though, that you can utilize this space to start a group like that, to start a club like that. Like, use the social features of this platform, and you have more than a yes from me. You have encouragement from me. Please start this if you'd like to. And none of them until Sheena began our first student club. And from that, so much has blossomed. We have our book club. We have our student-led tarot study club. They meet every single week, which is amazing. We also have our Witchcrafts Club, which is a creative, crafty, artsy club. We also have our LGBTQ plus allyship club. And there are rumors of a paranormal club starting, also a social club. There's always new and upcoming ideas for clubs. We also have a brand new after-school astrology club, which is a really, really cool addition for anyone in That Witch School who already loves the astrology study club that is led by faculty members, myself and Jenny SRP. And I had a couple students come to me and say, I can't get enough of astrology study club. Could I also start a student-led club that continues running with the studies, which I just, it was so cool to see a couple of students who had been with me for a while and learning a lot about astrology, and they remember where they were when they first started, and now they're confident enough to start their own study club. Like, it's just the coolest thing ever. And the beautiful thing about the student-led clubs is that, again, there's no end to this. The more our student body grows, the more interest and engagement grows, the more and more opportunity there is for clubs and gatherings like this to continue. And who knows beyond that what that continues inspiring and catalyzing even outside of our walls of that witch school. Again, the stuff that dreams are made of is all I have to say. The other thing I wanted to talk to you about was our witchy co-working sessions that began last year and are now such a popular, in demand, and so beautifully needed part of our school. So our head of our Dream Portal department, Andrea Morrison, if you're a listener of the podcast, you know Andrea from our previous episodes I've had on here about dreams, about nightmares. Andrea is a wonderful, wonderful friend and colleague of mine. She is this amazing person who is a mentor in both dream interpretation and bringing dream interpretive skills and applying them into our life and finding that connection between our dream world and our real world. And Andrea is also, I don't know if she would identify as this or not, but to me, she is totally a productivity expert. And I go to her for advice in productivity and time management and organization often. And she is someone who introduced me to the concept of co-working and body doubling on, on websites like FocusMate. And FocusMate is one of other co-working platforms where you can get paired up with a stranger and you're on a Zoom call and you declare whatever you're going to work on for that time block that you booked. And it is this wonderful accountability and productivity skill and tool and resource. And Andrea had the amazing idea at some point last year in 2025 to start hosting a co-working space for our students in that witch school. And she and I were talking about it and we were like, I benefit so much from co-working. This would benefit us. I'm sure there's so many other people that would love to do this too. It has become such a cozy, warm, encouraging, motivated workspace. We host witchy co-working sessions every single Monday. And we have more co-working popping up. So our faculty members can host like a little pop-up co-working session. And we also have some student co-working monitors who can also host a couple of sessions throughout the month. They can also substitute for a faculty member if they're not there so that co-working can still happen. And essentially what our witchy co-working session is a big group Zoom call. And we host it from anywhere from an hour to 2 hours to 3 hours. It's all based in the Pomodoro structure. So we show up, we say hi, we make sure we have any snacks or drinks or anything that we need. We get set up. We all declare what we're going to do for the first working hour. And then we time it and we work for the next hour. Some people work on emails and copywriting and social media management, or they tune in from their office job and they do work tasks. But we also have people who join, myself included, who use the time to get various tasks done that they've been putting off a lot. So this can look like cleaning your bathroom, reorganizing a closet, tidying up your space. This can also look like creative projects that you've been putting off, journaling projects that you've been putting off, reading that you've been putting off. You can take a nap that you've been putting off. It is this wonderful space where you can really tap into the magic and witchcraft of body doubling, but with people that are, again, friendly and welcoming, like-minded, and whether you're brand new to the co-working space or you're a regular with us in the co-working space, it is just this laid back, breezy energy where you get shit done without all of that bro boss and girl boss energy. But it's still productive as hell. And it is, again, it was never on my original docket when I mapped out that witch school. Oh, I want to make sure we do co-working. And it's something that began because that witch school is bigger than me. Bigger than me, Danny, that witch next door. And I share these parts of that witch school with you that have blossomed over this last year because it is living evidentiary proof that this is not a membership that you're going to join that is just meant to put you in some sales funnel to get you to book some bigger and higher package with me. It really is this incredible, affordable, accessible space that it's promised to be. And the best part about it is that it is flexible and organic and fluid enough to continue growing, to continue listening to feedback, to continue refining, to continue improving. Any ways that we can continue improving accessibility, any ways that we can continue encouraging our diversity, our support, our allyship, how we genuinely help other magical humans live this witchy life that they love so much in a world that can be so insanely challenging. We are there to step up to the plate. And here we are 4 years later. I can promise you that we have been doing that since the very beginning, and we are still doing it to this day, and we will continue doing that. So if you are looking for a place where you can learn even more from me, even when the podcast goes on break and I'm not releasing episodes, I'm in that witch school. I'm hosting shadow work group twice a month. If you love Moonday Musings and the deep cosmic informed, interpretation that I offer, here's what could be coming up for you right now. Keep this in mind. That type of content. That is the core of shadow work group. I host it at the new moon and the full moon personally every single month. We also have a monthly tarot circle hosted by the amazing Mary Muse, who has also been a guest on that witch podcast multiple times. Another wonderful friend of mine. Such an affinity for teaching tarot in this open, accessible, gentle way that actually strengthens your intuition. Doesn't just say that it will, actually helps you tap into what are you getting from the cards? What are the cards telling you in this special message? I am a huge fan of our monthly tarot circle. I love getting to be a participant of our monthly tarot circle. Our Dream Portal Club is hosted by Andrea, like I mentioned. We have our monthly Dream Portal Club where you get to come and talk about your dream work. Get to talk about your funky dreams. You get to ask questions, but how we are actually applying what our dreams are telling us in our waking real life and bridging the magical gap between those two realms for us. We also have monthly astrology study club that is co-ran by myself and Jenny SRP. We typically tend to kind of set a theme for study club for the month. This is available to all access members. And in Astrology Study Club, this year alone, we did a big deep dive on the big three and really got into the nitty gritty of the sun, moon, and rising placements. We also ran a study club that was all about well offering practice for those working through my astrology course and program, which is called I Can Read My Astrology. That entire course in its whole complete glory is available to all access students, and they can work through that at their own pace with guidance from me built into the modules. And Astrology Study Club is a wonderful place where students can go get live Q&A help, not just with me, but with each other. We've also ran Astrology Study Club going into day and night charts and what it means if you have a day chart and what it means if you have a night chart, if you are led by the sun or led by the moon, and who's on your day team and who's on your night chart team. And honestly, where the magic of astrology comes into that witch school is it's a place where you actually get to practice. You actually get to ask real questions to a real human being, more than one human being, and you actually get to practice and apply what you're learning, which, by the way, if you want to go anywhere with your astrology practice, you gotta be practicing with real people. And throughout the year, we also host pop-up workshops and classes. Mary is hosting a tarot course series this year that I'm so excited about. That begins in May, just next week. She will be starting with the fire suit, the wand suit, and taking our students through a tarot course. There's already so much you can explore and move through and learn from at your own pace. And we have this consistently growing library as well, on top of regular monthly calls. We are hosting these at a variety of times to hit as many time zones as possible. We are recording these and we are offering the replay so that if you have a busy life, if you're in a different time zone, or if you're just in a season where you're not able to join at that particular time, that's okay. You've got it at your own time, your own schedule when you get to the replay. I could go on and on and on. In addition to additional bonus episodes from me, additional vlogs from me, direct help from me. You can message me, you can tag me when you're needing something. Special bonus updates that I only offer to that witch school. Lots of behind the scenes, early bird announcements to different things. It's this constantly buzzing place, but it's not buzzing with a bunch of random static noise. It's not this total shit show like it is here on these godforsaken platforms. And when I thought about what I experienced this winter, what I learned from it, and what I'm grateful for, it just kept coming back to that witch school and everything it's become and the incredible people there. And I know I'm not the only one there who feels so seen and so heard and so held by the community. I see this and hear this reflected in student after student after student. And it is like singularly one of the most humbling achievements of my entire career to date. So you can learn a lot more about that witch school on Welcome to That Witch School 2025. You can learn more about what our plans are and what each of them offer right now at thatwitchschool.com. You don't need any code or anything. All of our plans are currently discounted 50% off for our spring sale, and this is only going to be for a limited time. This is an excellent opportunity to jump onto. If you have any questions about what you get in the membership or what it comes with or how we do things, I'm always right next door. Just shoot me a message. You can get my contact info in the show notes below. And I can assure you, we would love to have you, neighbor. So Thanks for being here for my little update, my own personal reflection and gratitude. Thanks for letting me gush over just the absolute coolest place ever that I've had the pleasure of getting to witness, That Witch School. I'll see you very soon back here on That Witch podcast. And until I do, make sure that you're out there staying safe. You're still letting yourself have fun. And of course, stay magical, my friend. Visit thatwitchschool.com today to browse our subscription plans and join us for half off your membership for life. That's right. As long as your membership stays active, you'll keep your discounted rate forever. No minimum amount of time required. We also have no AI-generated content, no ads, and no bots. Just a kind, engaged community of witches, pagans, magical practitioners, and astrologers, learning together, practicing together, supporting each other, and inspiring each other. Real magic for real life. Join us at thatwitchschool.com today.